Okay. Alright, sounds good. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Speedrun Ragnarok, the most awesome Valkyrie marathon in the world, in support of Take This, one of the most awesome charities in the world. We have a very special surprise for you. Our favorite Highspirits is going to be running Dragon Quest V as a bonus run. So let's all sit back and go questing for some dragons.
Oh, thank you, Margaret. Except for there's an issue. We will not be questing for dragons because this is Dragon Quest and dragons do not exist in Dragon Quest.
Well, that's why we're questing for them, because we're just hoping they exist somewhere.
Well, we won't find them, sadly. But this is Dragon Quest V. Hopefully the audio is alright for everyone. This is in Japanese only, as there is no English version of this game. So, I've done a D-Rust run recently, so I kind of pretty much know what's going on. Although my Japanese isn't the best, I will be trying my best to go through as fast as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and get this going. We're going to set it to the slowest battle speed, message speed, because in Dragon Quest the slowest message speed is actually the fastest. And we are going to start the timer now. So first thing you're going to notice is this being an RPG in Japanese, you would think that timing would start when the console is on and then stop when you hit the end screen. But this game, it's impossible to do timing like that because there is actually no the end screen. We are going to... You're also going to notice, by the way, that the estimate is set at 50 minutes for an any % Dragon Quest run. Which means, yeah, we're not going to see a whole lot of this game. Yes, just to give a heads up, we got pretty far ahead in schedule. And the Zelda 2 run is going to take place right after I am done filling in a few minutes and getting us behind on schedule once again.
Well, we definitely appreciate you making up some of that buffer for us, because everybody's just too good at games. We're too fast here.
Well, you know, that's why I'm here. That's why I set my estimate to 50 minutes, because this game shouldn't take 50 minutes. But, like I said, we'll see how things go. So, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'm sure it will be fine.
Well, the fun part's going to be trying to make sure I get all the right Japanese. Yeah, everyone is too quick. Go get Highspirits. He'll mess everything up for us. Okay, for those who don't know, this is Dragon Quest... Wrong one. This is Dragon Quest V. This is the PlayStation 2 version. It only came out in Japan. And anyone who played the DS version or watched me do the DS speedrun in a previous Valkyrie marathon will realize this looks very similar. And it does, besides, you know, the fancy 3D graphics. And shoddy hitboxes sometimes. But we're going to start off the game like we normally would. Oop, that talked to the wrong person. This one. And we're going to just do the beginning sequences. And then after we reach the second town, well, that's where the fun starts to begin. And that's where we get the true reason why this run should take under 50 minutes. This game utilizes a lot of glitches. It is a very... Well, we use one glitch, basically, to completely break the game in every other possible way. And, yeah, until we get there, we're just gonna... We're gonna start out with the story here. We're a hero. Little 6-year-old us there, all in purple. Remember this image, because we're gonna stay 6 the entire game. No... Yeah, it's gonna get pretty crazy. And you're going to know we are traveling with our dad. There's Captain Blythe, the one who's given us a ride. And we're going home after a great adventure with my dad, because my dad is amazing. He's a beast. He's got like over 400 health already. I mean, he's a seasoned veteran. And look at that hair and mustache. You cannot say that he is not a seasoned, amazing adventurer. We will not get Porum. In fact, one of the big things about the DS run is known as the waifu bid war, where we pick our wife because you know, that's a major part of the story. Well, this is Flora, the Japanese name Flora. Her name is Nera in the English version. And you'll notice that she doesn't have Deborah behind her, because Deborah does not exist in this version. Deborah was added as a part of the DS exclusive, or DS version. And unfortunately, we don't get to choose our waifu today. We are stuck with one very specific waifu. And we'll get to that later, why we're stuck. Also, I don't know what I did with my phone, because that's supposed to be my timer later on. I gotta find that or I might be in trouble.
Yeah, that could definitely not be helpful, but yes, there's all sorts of sadness in chat right now because only one waifu.
Only one waifu. Oh, I don't have my phone, which means I need to open up a new timer. I can do that on my laptop. I don't need the timer for until about 15 minutes into the run.
Oh, okay.
So we start off, Dad's just dropping us off, tells us to go out and play, but don't go too far. But we, being the adventurous 6-year-old, go outside and immediately get swarmed by slimes. So we're just going to start by defending, because our dad, being a great adventurer, senses that we're in danger, and he comes and rescues us with his 410 health and his ability to one-shot these slimes. And he's a great dad. We love Dad. Let's see. I need a timer. Okay, I need one that's going to be accurate.
That could potentially be helpful, yes.
So all we're going to do at the beginning here is we're going to get into 3 forced encounters. And we're just going to let Dad take care of them. We want this experience because we would like to hit level 3 before we reach town. Because the 3rd level will be very nice when it comes to... Oh no, it's not going with what I need. How about this? It's going to be nice for the added safety, because there is a little bit of tricky parts to this run, and we're going to take some extra marathon safeties and get some extra armor and whatnot to try to stay alive during it. There's a couple of encounters we got to survive, and this is a big encounter, and that's a lot of kitty cats. So we don't want to die, because dying is bad. Dying means we don't get the experience. So Dad, we need you to pet these kitty cats and get them on their merry way.
Pet them with his sword.
Yeah, well, if you use the side of the sword, that counts, right?
I don't know. I mean, I guess they're just being pet so much that they're perfectly happy and they go away?
Yeah, they're purring.
They're totally sated.
Yeah, they're purring away.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of experience. We didn't need any more than what we needed to hit level 3. But this is the first village. I don't remember the Japanese names for all of these. Like, I think this is Santa Maria or Santa something like that in Japanese. I'm just going to go by the English versions because that's what I know. And this is Wheelbrook in the English version. Santa Rosa sounds about right, yes. It's not quite Santa Claus. It's only October. Gotta think of Halloween first. Wow.
Santa Jack Skellington.
Everyone skips Halloween and goes straight to Christmas, you know? But yeah, so what we did on the ship is you'll notice I opened up a couple of barrels. It's because we needed a couple of specific items. This is Bianca. This is the other waifu. She's 8 years old. She's older than us. She does some goof right here where she says, "Hey, let's go upstairs and read a book." And then she pulls a book off the shelf and says, "I can't read it," and then leaves. She tried.
She was hoping that you could read it to her.
They actually make it a point to tell you that you can't read, and that's going to come up later, actually. But so what happened is Bianca and her mother came to town here to look for some medicine for Bianca's father because he got sick. He has a cold. And the person here is supposed to get some medicine, but there's an issue. He went into this cave over here and never came out. And, well, you know, we're the 6-year-old intrepid adventurer. We're just going to jump into this big, dangerous cave and go help out the guy who came here to help out Bianca's dad. Ooh, no encounter in the first room. See, encounters work on an incremental step per step. Oops. So the once you enter a room, it resets. So you can sometimes go through rooms without an encounter. Drakies can be very dangerous. We don't want to die. That's all. All we do is lose a chunk of time if we die. But we want to take some damage if we're going to take damage, but without dying. Because we are going to take a death warp at the end. Death warps are something that's very common in Dragon Quest games, where because death is not permanent, you just go back to the nearby church that you saved at with half your gold missing, and go on your merry way. Well, we don't have much gold because we haven't collected anything. So the death warp is just going to save us time of having to walk out. But okay, cool. So we're going to come up here and get these clothes. These are going to be, you can use these for protection, but the main reason we're going to use it is for a glitch. The first glitch, so now we're going to death warp out of here, and we're going to go to the second town, and the second town is where we will, button stick sometimes on this controller. The second town is where we will, do our first glitches, and the first one we're going to do is item duplication. In this game, and the way to pull that off is you have to have 13 unique items in your inventory. With the items we've been collecting and the gear that we will have 13 unique items. The reason why that is that way is because each page in your inventory holds 12 items, and you need at least one item in a following page in order to pull off the duplication glitches. So we're gonna go ahead and we saved the guy whose leg was stuck under a rock. In the English version, his name is Mr. Rockefeller. Insert pun. We're going to grab this string seed. String seed is very important because it's the most expensive item that we can get right now. And when you're going to do a duplication glitch, having the most expensive item you can is probably the best thing to have.
Only if you want to actually make money by duplicating things.
Yeah, it makes things a little bit faster. Okay, so we have all of our items. So now, Dad, being the great guy that he is, decides that he's going to help escort Bianca and her mother all the way over to Roundbeck, you know, so they could be safe on the dangerous road. I mean, we got attacked by 3 encounters getting here.
Well, and Mustache Dad is pretty strong, so I think I'd want to follow Mustache Dad.
Dad's great. There will be some story spoilers in this game, FYI. I will try to point out the big spoilers before I say them, because what we're going to do is going to definitely disrupt what you would normally know as a story. Especially big spoilers surrounding Dad. And this is not Mustache Man. The one that has the black belt. Or the Phoenix Down, if, you know, is what you don't want. Okay, so we come here and Dad's like, hey, go cut her off and do something. So we're going to go do that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the item shop and we're going to buy an antidote. Because the antidote will make it so I have 13 unique items. And it's pretty cheap, so... Okay, next thing we need to do is... Sorry, my menus are a little bit slow in some places. We need to unequip Bianca. And then we need to unequip you. So everyone has nothing on. We're going to organize our items to put them in specific order in the bag. And then we're going to go to the bag and we're going to go take the strength ring, or the strength seed. We're going to put that on the hero, because then we're going to put it back into the bag, which puts it at the back. So now we have the strength seed over here. If you go one down and then you push over and menu at the same time, you duplicate the item. So we're going to do this to fill up our inventory with strength seeds. Normally you don't have to do about 5 or 6 if you're going for like a world record attempt.
We're just trying to go fast.
We're not going fast, we're going safe.
True.
That's why we're getting extras, so we'll have 13 to sell.
It's still a marathon.
Okay, so we got all those. We'll organize our items. And the first thing we'll do is talk to you and sell our 13 strength seeds for nearly 1,000 gold. Let's see if I can remember the perfect things to buy here. I need this. So basically we're buying some armor and a shield. And we want this one. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to buy some Chimera wings. Oops, I want to buy more than one. We'll buy 5. Gives us some extra safety. And then we want to buy a stack of herbs. And we need at least 300 gold left over, which is exactly what we have. And then I need to give the cape to Bianca, which is this, just so she has some armor. And then we're all set. So now we're going to do the next story trigger, which is what you're supposed to do when you leave. You come over here and you see these kids picking on this poor saber cat. And they make a deal with us. We go up there and say, hey, stop this. You're supposed to pet the kitty, not make fun of it. And they say, fine then, we'll give you the kitty if you go to the nearby haunted house and defeat the haunted monster that's there. And we're going to be like, sure. So we decide to stay over for the night because that's what Bianca's mom wants us to do. You know, because it's getting late and we don't want to, you know. And it works out because... hey, it's going to be nighttime in a haunted house. Just, it makes sense, right? So we're going to rest until nighttime. And then the story wants you to go to the lighthouse and deal with the ghosts that are there. We are going to make a side trek to a very unintended part of the game. And this is where the first bit of RNG comes in. So get ready for some spoilers. So here comes the spoilers. First part. Normally, this game is split into generations, into 3 generations. Where you are now, when you're an adult, and then, or when you're, should I say, a late teenager, you know, early adult, and then when you're a much later adult. Split between story triggers. So that's how we mark this game, is the fact that there's 3 generations. Right now we're in generation 1. We're going to make a safety save here. What we're going to do is we are going to use open the system tray to deload the world map. And we're going to go out of bounds and use that to get to Generation 2. Now, the first part of this is RNG. If we get into an encounter, we have to close the system tray. So we're going to see what happens, see if we get lucky first try. The system tray is now open, and we are going to the edge of where the map tile is. And then we go and bounce real briefly there. That helps reset the encounter rate. And then we're going to try to get out of bounds over here. It's looking good. Once we get out of bounds, we're in good shape. Okay, so this is where, oops. This is where I need to get my stopwatch going. We are going to go 7.5 seconds out of bounds here in this direction. Now we're going to go east and close the system tray. First try, by the way. That's one of the biggest RNG parts of the run. And when we come back in bounce, we will literally be on Fortuna. This is a Generation 2 town. We aren't supposed to be here for a while. And here is where we're going to pick up an item called the Monster Wagon. This game's big selling point is monster recruitment. You go out, you recruit monsters to join your party. And that's how you get your party. And you use the party that way with the wagon. The game does not expect you to have a wagon at this point in the game. So that's where things are going to start to get interesting. So now we're going to go make another save because this is where the dangerous RNG part of the run is. We actually have to go through the haunted towers, the haunted mansion, and progress the story towards the end of the mansion in order to set up the next part of the game. Yep, that's what the 300 gold was for. That's why I needed 300 gold. And we'll just wing outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk over here by the Abbey. And then we're going to open the system tray again. And that's going to... So what happens is the world map loads in tiles. So that's what we do is we open the system tray and it allows us to just skip one of the tiles. Or only load the tile that you're in. Yes, they do let 6-year-olds into the casino. So this is our wagon, yeah. Also, one thing you gotta be careful is not go and bounce here, because I will get into an encounter and I will die. But I gotta get right timer going again and start. So now we're going to go out of bounds all the way back to where the haunted towers is. And there is a small chance that I can soft lock here. So I have the safety save for sure, just in case I don't actually soft lock. And if this worked out perfectly, we will end up being right at the towers. Bam, perfect. So this is the Haunted Mansion.
Very nice.
Wow, first tries on the hardest part so far. So yeah, this is the part of the story you're supposed to be at. The only difference is now is we have the wagon. And we'll get to the wagon in a few minutes. First, we got to talk about how spoopy this haunted mansion is. Because this is really spoopy. Like, we go in there and the lightning crashes and the portcullis comes down. Ooh, and we got all these caskets. Oh, no. And out of the caskets jump a bunch of skeletons. Oh, no. Scary stuff for a 6 and 8-year-old.
Oh, no. Scary, spooky skeletons.
Well, the skeletons actually kidnapped Bianca. So we have to go find her now. You'll notice one of the statues lights up. Ooh. And then...
Do you have to find her?
Yep. She is actually inside this tombstone. Totally not traumatic or totally normal to kidnap a young girl or a young person and just throw them in a tombstone. But it's all right. She's strong. She's, you know, she's like, it's about, she actually literally says, it's about time you rescued me. So she's cool. This is not scary to Bianca at all.
Very resilient. Lots of grit.
Oh yeah. So this is the Countess. So the Count and the Countess really want us to help them because there's a bad villain here. And they want us to deal with it, of course. But yes, this is the open disc tray %, and this is Japanese only. You cannot get this in English. So we got some ravens, you know, quote the raven, nevermore.
Which we do still need to finish, by the way. But
oh, it's going to be a little hard right now because there's going to be a lot of talking coming up shortly.
Well, I mean, we have actual ravens, so...
Oh. Let me go ahead and finish. Actually, if you got something you want to say for a minute or two, go ahead.
All right, I can read a little bit. I'll see how far I get. So, when last we stopped, it was halfway. So, startled at the stillness broken by a reply so aptly spoken, doubtless said I, what it utters is only stock in store, caught from some unhappy master from whom a merciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy ends smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of the bird, and bust and door. And then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking, what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee! By these angels he hath sent thee respite, nepenthe from my memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still of bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore.
Okay, I guess I should catch up on what's going on now.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine. This is the scary part of the run, by the way, the terrifying part. We need to survive these couple of encounters, and I'm not doing a good job running away right now. If the hero dies, we have to reset our save, and we got away with 3 health. Eee, this is scary. Yeah, this is the scary part of the run. If Bianca dies, then she just revives at the end of the fight. Hopefully we can get out of here. So what happened is we fell down a hole to a dark room filled with ghosts. And in order to get through the room, we need a torch, which is why we came down here to get a torch. Okay, we got past the worst part of the run. Whew. Now it's all about execution. So we picked up the torch. Now we need to go deal. So what happened is we went to the Count. The name of this in English, by the way, is Up to 10 Towers. And we talked to the Count of Up to 10. Let that one sink in for a second. So now we're going to take advantage of our wagon. We go outside and we take Bianca out of our party. The game wants us now to go up and deal with the big baddie at the top. And what's going to happen is he's gonna pull the fast one on us and drop us through a trap door. The big thing to remember is this game in Generation 1 expects everything to happen cleanly. Use torch. So this game is expecting me to have 2 characters going into this cutscene right here. And, well, you're going to notice something funny. I'm falling up. Look at that. Whee! Watch real closely. Here I go. Oh, there I am. Oh, going the wrong way. Oh, okay, I'll go follow him down. So, we basically create a second character of ourselves. This is called the stick glitch. It allows us to break the Z-axis. because we took Bianca out of our party and went through that falling cutscene, we now can go up and down on the Z-axis. We also need to do something very, or not very, but a little bit precise here coming up in order to skip this forced encounter, because this forced encounter will kill me. We can do it by pulling ourselves up and then finding the load zone. There it is. And we are done with the Abbey. We don't actually have to finish. We're going to go ahead and wing out of here with our fancy new ability to break the Z-axis inside dungeons. So we are going to open the system tray again. Things are about to get much worse, don't worry. You can wing indoors, yes. Okay, I gotta get my timer ready. Because now we have to go to the end of Generation 1, like the game expects you to, after you do a bunch of stuff. Well, we're gonna use the whole breaking the Z-axis thing to really cause problems. So now we're gonna come in bounce at the ruins here. Hopefully I don't walk right into the ruins because I want to do a menu first, but sometimes we get too close. Okay. So we need to unequip. And then we need to organize items. And then we need to add Bianca back into the party. So now we're going to go into here. So we're not going to get into any encounters. Also, first you're going to notice these guys block us, but we just walk right over it. You know, we can walk right over triggers. We just have to make sure we're on the ground when we go through an entrance and a door. And we're just going to come over here to towards the end of Act 1, or Generation 1. The game, by the way, does not expect you... I went the wrong way. To have Bianca in the party. So she's in our party for this fight, and we purposely run away the first time so she will die and not get experience, because she'll gain several levels. And we don't want her to gain those levels. So yes, the game puts her in the fight because it doesn't know to take her out of the fight, because the game doesn't expect you to have her. Also, you'll notice we have the Saber Cat now, because the game expects you to have Saber Cat right now. So the game gives you Saber Cat. So now we got to go through a little bit of a few random encounters with this really horrible raft, which only moves in 4 directions and is very clunky. So now here comes some big spoilers, okay? For people who we're not going to die, by the way, because Dad is never going to die. So for people who've never played this before, you might want to mute the stream here for a minute, because we got some big spoilers coming. Give you a second. Okay. In this dungeon, your dad is expected to die. You're expected to get to the end of the dungeon, fight, or get into a fight with the Bishop Ladja, lose the fight. That's a bad last encounter. Lose that fight, and then your dad dies. Story reasons. So, this game, when you enter the dungeon, puts a flag into memory. It turns on a flag that says, when the hero dies, go to the next event. That's the flag. And it gets removed by dying to Ladja. So what happens if we don't actually fight Ladja and remove that flag? Well, we'll talk about what that next event is. You see, the next event when you're in combat is to end the fight, because that's what happens in the Bishop Ladja fight. You get into the encounter. Come on, lag. Come on. Ew, this raft is terrible. You get into the encounter. He kills you. You die, and the flag is gone. That's pretty much what the game expects. So that's what happens in combat. But there's also this little thing of what happens when you're not in combat when that flag gets triggered. Well, we're going to answer your question very quickly. First, we have to go very high up to skip this trigger, because for some reason, Bishop Ladja trigger goes all the way up to the top of the screen. Okay, so this is going to happen really fast, by the way. We're going to put line up hero only. And we're going to come over here to this swamp so we start taking some damage. And we're going to get into a fight. And in the fight, the hero will die because these are higher level enemies, much higher level enemies than me. Although these guys have trouble hitting you. So this might take a little bit of time. I gotta wait for them to actually crit me. You also notice Harry is in the party because he's supposed to be out of your party right now. But so we died in combat. We have 1 health. We die on the world map. The next event is to take us to the debug room. So we are now in the debug room filled with little Neras. Or little daughters, I should say. So first thing we're going to do is remove Harry from the party. And then we're going to add our son and daughter. Yes, our son and daughter who are the same age as me right now. And then we're going to come over and talk to this guy, and he's going to give us 6.3 million experience, which almost maxes our level. And then we need to Chimera Wing out of here.
So they should really call this one babysitting percent.
Pretty much, yes. Okay, so now we want to have our party. So now we have access to Repel, which guarantees we won't get an encounter because it eliminates encounters based on your level. And because our level is much higher than anything else in this area, we don't have to worry about encounters. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open up the system tray because now we have to go to the next part. We got to figure out how to get to the end game. And, oops, I don't got my timer here. Here we go. So we're going to start going out of bounds here. We're going to head over to Monstro, the town where you're supposed to choose your bride. Choose your waifu. Oh, shoot. I did that too early. I'm going to have to reset this. That's fine because I still have Chimera Wings on me. So I can do this again. I messed up the timing there a little bit. So we will do this one more time. Mom, so the story goes at the very beginning, before you're on the boat, your mom... Ooh, I was too far over. Your mom dies the day you're born. That's the story goes. Okay, there we go. I didn't go over far enough to get rid of this other map here. But yeah, so we got to go over here just out of bounds to despawn the other one. Oh, the mother of your kids? Bianca's in our party. I don't have... There we go. So we actually, in the end, we are forced to take Bianca as our waifu. See, she's right there. Of course, she's also 8 years old, but she's still the mother of these children. So now we're going to do a couple of open trays, opening the tray, going out of bounds. We're just going to do this one as a safety to reapply Repel while we're on the middle of the ocean. Come on. There we go. It's having trouble hitting the button. And then we're going to come over here and go out of bounds again. Ooh, okay, I don't think I went too far. I think that's right. Well, no. So now we're going to go this way to get over to Monstro. And if this worked out good, we will end up right on top of the town. Yep, perfect. So first thing we're going to do is we need to change it to daylight. Also, I want to make sure my children are in the party properly. Oops, wrong one. You. There we go. So we're just going to enter here. And this is going to give us the zoom point, the ability to teleport here. So we're going to open the system tray again. And now, so this part of the story is, in order to choose your waifu, in order to get married, you basically have to pick up 2 rings, the Ring of Fire and the Ring of Water. Perfect. And the first place it sends you to is to get the Ring of Fire over here, in the volcano. Oop. And we don't have to worry about any encounters because we have the stick glitch, which allows us to fly over everything. So, in order to get... So we're going to do this, because we have to do this, because... More spoilers. In order to get to the Dark World, you need 3 rings. The Ring of Water, the Ring of Fire, and the Ring of Life. And you get those as you play the game. The problem is, the game doesn't care which 3 rings you have. It just cares that you have 3 rings. That's all the game wants. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this boss fight, and then we're going to duplicate the Ring of Fire. So we have enough to get to the Dark World. So, yeah. So we got this fight. This fight normally is really dangerous. Like, insanely dangerous. But remember that flag that we have? Where, when the hero dies, go to the next event, which is the battle ends. Well, we have the hero cast a spell called Kerplunk, which kills himself to fully heal and resurrect the rest of your party. So, Kerplunk, our hero, he dies, and the fight ends. Okay. Let me see. You have the ring, I believe. Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the ring into the bag. My party order is a little messed up. Oh, no, it's right. Never mind. No, it is messed up. But that's fine. We can do it this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the bag. We're going to find where it is in the inventory, which is here. And then we're going to go 1 down. And then we're going to duplicate it. We're going to duplicate it 3 times, so we got a total of 4. Because the game is going to take 1 from you. This one. The game is going to take 1 from you when you talk to Mr. Briscoletti. So there we go. We have our rings! And now we have to do a little bit of story trigger here. In order to have Mr. Briscoletti give us his ship. Which, by the way, I need to... Oh, I gotta do it outside, duh. Give us his ship, which we're gonna use to get to the end of the game, to the Dark World. So, if you want a couple more minutes here. You got.
Alright, I guess I can finish off the Raven for all of us. Alright. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still of bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore. Tell this soul with sorrow laden, if, within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a Satan maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, who the angels name Lenore. Quoth the Raven, nevermore.
Just briefly, we are going to go out of bounds 1 more time. This one's a little more finicky, but it's not too hard to get, so we're going to go out of bounds here.
If you want me to stop while you focus.
Go ahead. I don't need to focus for this run.
Oh, okay.
Not anymore.
Be that word or sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie that soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and from thy form from off my door. Quoth the Raven, nevermore.
I almost came in out of bounds. Oops.
Oops. And the Raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the semen of a demon's that is dreaming. And the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted, nevermore.
Cool. That door I just went through, by the way, has a very picky trigger. If you get too close to it, it just doesn't let you through. Oh, it took the wrong ring. Okay, we're good.
And real quick, just I want to add, for anybody who joined us during this run and missed the first half of that, Nobody Important 5 donated money each time so the entire poem could be read as part of the marathon. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thank you very much for the donations. So we put 3 fire rings onto the statues, and we're now in the Dark World, the final area. What we're going to hope to do is go out of bounds here and skip a cutscene with Mom, which, by the way, Mom really isn't dead. There we go. Okay, now for the Nibiria, the Dark World. So, we beat this game so fast that Nimzo, the final boss, didn't have enough time to actually finish the Dark World. You see, he got to the bridge and, you know, just couldn't finish. So we're just gonna, you know, hop, skip, and jump our way back in bounds. And oops, wrong one. And here we are at the final dungeon in the game. And us, with the stick glitch, means we can just fly over everything. But yeah, so for the most part, this is Dragon Quest V, PlayStation 2. The only thing left for us to do is to beat Nimzo, which does require a little bit of work. And we'll get to that shortly. First, we got to go through a few rooms. We can skip a handful of rooms. We can also just go right through this wall and skip this entire room.
I was going to say, I mean, this looks like a normal run-through for me, just casual, so...
Yeah. Everyone goes through the walls. I don't see anything wrong with this. Walls are optional. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go over and you're supposed to... Spoilers. Give that spoiler alert. You go through this place a couple of times, several more rooms, and you get to a point where you actually find... Wait, that's the wrong cave, is it? No, that's right. That mom is not dead, that she's helping, trying to stop Nimzo, and then she dies. And, and then she helps you find your way through here to get through this lava, which doesn't really exist, and we can just drop right through it because it doesn't really exist. This room right here is the worst room in the game in the speedrun, in the other versions, or at least the DS versions. That room has King Metal Slimes. And now you would say that King Metal Slimes doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, right? Well, Dragon Quest V King Metal Slimes come with a spell called Hocus Pocus. It's basically the chance spell from early Dragon Warrior games, where one of like 16 possible things can happen when it casts it, including one of them being draining your entire party of its MP. That has happened to me before in a run. That's why that's the worst room in the game, because those stupid King Metal Slimes. To get through here, to get to the final boss, you're supposed to open those chests and fight a boss, but we just skip right through it, and we're to the final boss. By the way, this place is pretty cool. You can, you know, since we're nice and early on time here, you can look around, you can walk around, you can check things out. It's pretty nice. It goes pretty far, but we'll go to the boss.
It reminds me of Final Fantasy VII a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty nice here. Getting ready for Sephiroth, aka Nimzo. So Nimzo is a two-phase fight. The first phase is going to be simple. We're going to kerplunk and end the fight. And because the hero dies, you know, the fight ends. But we're going to have a small problem, you see. We got a second fight that we have to do, and the hero will already be dead. So we're going to have to come up with a very creative way to get through that fight as fast as possible with the hero dead. So first things first, we'll just kerplunk. Did I kerplunk or did I back out? I think I backed out. Oops. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. So, hero kerplunks, fight ends. Because of the flag that we have in there. So now we got really, really angry Nimzo. Where he puts on a few pounds, gains a few limbs, and gets really, really, really ornery. And he likes to hit you with his tail, too. So we have to do something really creative to get through this fight as fast as possible. By the way, time is after I actually finish this fight, because we can't time to the end. And I'll describe why, because we're not going to have enough time to show you why. But here's our big guy here. He even got wings. He's a little baddie. So, how are we going to get through this fight as fast as possible? Well, we're going to do what every great hero should do when they see something like this. Run away. And once it comes around to our turn, GG. So we ran away from the final boss. So what happened is, our hero is still dead, but the game doesn't recognize that he's dead yet to activate the flag. So running away gets it so it comes to your turn. And once it gets to your turn, your hero's dead, the fight ends. And you finish the fight by running away. And that's Dragon Quest V.
GG.
Easy game every time. Yeah. So, the reason why we can't show the goat time until the end, and it takes like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get there, so I'm not going to waste the time doing that. We glitched the game so badly that the ending credits does not actually load. You get to a scene where there's people dancing, and they just continue to dance. They just dance, and dance, and dance, and dance, and dance, and dance, and it just never ends. Oh, there's a dragon in this game, by the way. Just,
I was about to say there's a dragon!
We found a dragon in Dragon Quest!
The real dragon is the friends we made along the way.
Yes. Keep in mind, my hero is still 6, my children are 6, and my wife is 8. There is our happy family.
Yay!
Thank you, Toku Hero, for the bits.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to like do some windy stuff, and you can just like skip stuff. This is the victory tour where you go around and you like say goodbye to everyone. It's a common Dragon Quest thing. But yeah, so that's Dragon Quest V. Thank you for the filler game. So I guess I am currently restreaming right now. I need to make sure our Zelda 2 run is set up and ready to go. So I'm going to thank you everyone for checking this out. I hope you enjoyed the run. I'll be back tomorrow with a much worse game than this. That's actually probably longer than this. And it's not a full RPG. Go figure.
Totally an RPG. All right, everyone. So that was Dragon Quest V, and coming up next, we are going to have Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, musical showcase, 100% NMG, played by the amazing Megma Attack, and Must Be Tuesday music. So stay tuned for those. We also have Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Masters coming up after that, played by Leggy Starscream, and due to donation goals being met, we're going to have some Yu-Gi-Oh! Read in voices by some very special people, so that should be extremely exciting. So we have a lot of really good stuff coming up.